Hello and welcome back to HCS Weekly.
I thought, yo, this is my life. I have to go pro in Halo.
In my head, thought that was more efficient, and I guess I was right.
He was like the god. We would have to 2v1 like just to beat this guy. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know. You're like, oh, let's see if guys like
A lot of Halo in my life, man. It's been a fun journey.
I love it. Hello and welcome back to HCS Weekly, your weekly destination for all things HCS. I'm your host, ShyWay, finally back from the HCS Invitational. And if you missed it, please go check out the VODs. If you didn't miss it, I'm pretty sure you would agree with me in saying that this was one of the best Halo events we have ever had. Absolutely amazing. So glad to be back. And Sunday night kind of destroyed me, so I'm a little hungover, a little jet lagged from the flying and everything, but good to be back. Good to be hosting the show once again. We got a great guest for today's interview, but of course, as always, let's kick it off with the news. MattyRums from NoobCombo.com. Welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah,
Cool.
How's it going, dude? welcome yourself. Yeah.
It was a long weekend for me too. I didn't get to watch the event that much, but I was out in Arizona, so still getting used to the time change.
Well, hopefully you caught some of those clips as the pre-roll as well. By the way, guys, big shout out to Halo Twitch Clips. Make sure you look them up on YouTube. They put together clips from everything happening in Halo and Twitch, and of course the HCS Invitational as well. They deserve some support, so I'll give them a little shout out. But what do we have as far as our news? I know you were busy, but you're still keeping on track with things that are going on here. We have the 2v2 throwdown that was part of the event as well.
Yes, the 2v2 throwdown kicked off the event. It was randomly chosen competitors from the Microsoft Store 2v2s, and anyone who got past the first round was entered, and they got randomly chosen through their region to get partnered with a pro, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But first place was Southeast, which was Pistola and Missy. Second place was Northeast, which was Snakebite and World Famous. Third was Central, which was Flamesword and Gaiden. Fourth was West, which was Straight Sick and Jay Rizzy. But first place took a nice $3,000 home, which isn't bad if you're just for competing in a Microsoft Store tournament.
Yeah, pretty amazing opportunity. Honestly, like one of the many things that I hope that they continue to do with future events, but $3,000 and big shout outs to Ola. And I'm sure, we'll shout him out again. Ola just played absolutely insane the entire tournament. It was unreal. He won the 2v2 and of course, Rec won the finals of the event as well. So some great stuff from him. Overall, like you said, awesome opportunity for people to just play at a Microsoft store and then get flown out to Austin, Texas and play with their favorite pros. So pretty great way to start off the event. We then continued with something called the Big Team Battle Bonanza that I got to be a part of as well. Damn, was it a fun time.
I did get to see that. It looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We had Team Golden Boy versus Team Walshy, and Golden Boy just dominated 4-1.
Was it a 4-1? I think it was a 3-1 because it's the best of 5. Right. And let me just, not to have Johns or whatever, but you guys saw, if you watched, you saw the team rosters. It was not fair. It was just not fair on paper. Like you had Roy, Lunch, and Snakebite and Clutch, who are all like either currently pros or he's an ex-pro Clutch. And then you had Snipe Down was our one pro player that we had. We had Unishek and a couple other good names, but like honestly, just the one team was stacked against the other. I know Royal 2, Lethal were supposed to be on our team, but the information like kind of went out late to them and they slept in, they missed it. So it was a little weird on the rosters, but we showed up strong in Valhalla, and overall I think it was just so freaking awesome. Big team battle for Halo. Like what did you think as a viewer?
To me, it just looked like it looked fun. It's the experience you have when you always play Big Team Battle. And
Right.
to kick it off with Valhalla was perfect.
Yeah.
Especially like the opening, I guess, play was Golden Boy launching into mid and just getting picked off by Snipe Down. It was just perfect.
Yeah. Carrying the rocket turret as well. So many things that you don't typically see in Halo. Like these are things that really individualize Halo from other FPS games. So seeing that like in a tournament format, like Banshees flying around, Warthogs, the rocket turrets, stuff like that, like it's Halo. You know what I mean? You see it and you're like, damn, only Halo could do this. And
driving the elephant on Sand Trap.
Driving the elephant. I was so confused in that game because I didn't at first know, like I know you can drive the elephants, but it didn't all clue in. Like it's been like a decade since I've actually like cared about playing Sandtrap BTV. But yeah, he was driving the flag closer. I think they went to the back of our base and they started driving our element to there. So it was pretty nuts. And of course we had the Pro 4v4 as well.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Reciprocity took first place. They beat Tox for the second time that tournament. Tox took second, GMS was third, Status Quo fourth, and then Lux and Denial rounding out with fifth and sixth.
Yep.
Little surprising, I think, for a lot of people, seeing Denial get knocked out that quick.
Right.
But it's nice to see different teams placing different places. The teams moving up and down in the ranks definitely keeps it interesting.
I did actually get a chance to speak to a lot of the pros, the Denial roster as well. One of the biggest difficulties that the pros had was just the amount of matches that they would play in a day. There wasn't a lot to play for each team, and typically teams are used to a tournament environment where you play in pools for a long time, you jump into bracket, like there's a lot that you're doing throughout the entire day, and you get to stay hot, so to speak. Right. So I know some of the pros, even on like Talk Snakebite, was saying like they just had like the amount of matches that you would have in pools, that was all they had for the entire day. So it was a little harder to get into the swing of things. They had to be ready earlier, and Reciprocity played insanely well. The big thing for Reciprocity as well was winning the winners finals and then making sure they carried that steam into the grand finals as well, because they couldn't do that for Halo 5 the last tournament. Right. They got 8-0 sweeped even though they won winners finals. So carrying it over, that was great to see. And I need to break down some of this gameplay at some point. Hopefully I get some time.
Oh, you got to do that Tox, the Narrows map between Tox and Reciprocity when they all cannoned over.
Right. Yeah, the one that actually really spoke to me was Pitt CTF in winners finals. It was Lunchbox made a massive play, and then we had the very end of the game. It was like 48-48, and they had an advantage by having the overshield picked up. I think Roy had the OS. They used the OS to take advantage of the rockets, like wait on the rocket spawn and grab that. And then with the extra power weapons, they had just that mid map control, waited for the second OS, and then collapsed in with absolutely everything and took out the last two players. But anyway, I'll save it for
another time.
For a video. Yeah, sometimes I watch this stuff and I'm like inspired by what I see. It's pretty amazing stuff. So really exciting event. We have the Halo Insider program as well. I think this was announced at the very end of the tournament, like flighting details about MCC.
Yeah, it's pretty much taking place of what MCC Insider was on Xbox. Halo Insider is going to be for both Xbox and PC.
Right.
People who register and get chosen will be able to participate in public flights. That'll be to test specific either like settings or just different parts about the game. But unfortunately for younger players, you must be 18 due to legal reasons.
Right.
But you can do so at haloinsider.com to register.
Yeah. Now, as far as details on when to expect to see, this early version of the game or when this stuff's going to be released, we don't know too much yet. I know there was a Reddit AMA that just took place earlier this morning. It didn't reveal too many new details, but I think from what I saw, it seems like they originally had this end of the year kind of projection for when the game would come out. I don't know if all the games are going to make it by that time or if it's just Reach they're talking about, because it does seem like it's a bit of a ways out. Like Reach is being worked on. They're trying to prep Halo CE, and then they have to do the rest of the games following.
Yeah, Sketch did mention that, I guess, when they said later this year, it was for Halo Reach, and they said that right now they're working on Reach and Halo CE as of right now. But
right.
That's just it.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens in that regard, but they're going to keep us posted. I'm sure the moment we find out, HCS Weekly is going to be talking about it. We also have some roster updates as well. Infinite announces a Halo roster. What a convenient name for a Halo team. What
So it's an esports organization called Infinite, not anything to do with the Optic Gaming
or Halo Infinite.
Or Halo Infinite. I think they actually have 2 Smash players, but
okay.
But their team will be Ryanoob, Scarvane, Thuggish Killa, and Piles. Ryanoob teamed with Scarvane at the Halo Classic under Team Wrath. They placed top 8. And Piles and Thuggish Killa played under Entice Blue at the Halo Classic, and they finished top 16.
Yeah. It's cool because something I like about Halo 3 coming back into the circuit is you're seeing a lot of new names, like players who have been playing Halo 3 for a long time. They're very good at the game, but they didn't quite jump into Halo 5 in the same way. So going back, like Piles, I'm not sure, like maybe they are very well known, but Thuggish Killa, Piles, I don't really recognize too well. I feel like these are guys who are specifically Halo 3 talented, and they're coming up from that. Maybe I'm wrong there.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's what I'm thinking is you're getting some new players showing up, which is nice to see as well. And of course, the next big thing coming up, you have G4G in a week's time. Already, we got G4G coming up. Things are just flying by here. What do we got? There's a roster switch as well.
So Mazer Gaming, which they were the European team that came over for Halo Classic, actually placed pretty well. They are replacing Flux with Jimbo. And I asked Jimbo if it's permanent, and he actually didn't even know. He said they just asked him, hey, would you come play for the tournament? He said, yeah, sure.
Right.
So I don't know if it's a permanent swap or if it's just a substitute.
Yeah, G4G being a bit of an odd one out as far as tournaments go. People kind of like put together different secondary rosters and play for fun. Prize pools aren't as large. Overall, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, though. But seeing Jimbo back is great as well. I haven't seen enough Jimbo recently. I know he's been streaming a bit, but we haven't seen him competing in a little while. We also have Gamers for Giving talent, and the talent roster looks pretty amazing, too.
Yeah, so they just tweeted this out today. We'll be seeing on the screen Walshy, Golden Boy, Bravo, Elamite, and T-Squared will be making his return.
T-Squared, let's go.
Yeah.
He's out of jail, finally. They freed him. Yeah, honestly, I think a lot of people are going to be happy to see T-Squared back. Elamite, who wasn't at the Invitational, it's going to be nice to have him back as well. But yeah, T-Squared's one of those personalities who are just, he's been in Halo forever. He's on Dr. Pepper bottles. Like, I think a lot of people want to see him come back and bring his personality to casting. So that's pretty exciting. And then we have our tournament rundown as well. Not as much this week, of course, G4G being the highlight, but there's the UGC Double Down Week 3 as well.
Yeah, so this just took place last night. First place was XBC champs. Second was Swellfellas. Third and fourth was Athreist and Zach and Paul. And fifth place was 313 Halo.
Man, these team names. Athreist. Like, it looks like atheist or something. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You get the point, guys. UGC week 3 for Double Down is done. We'll be moving on to week 4 and continuing.
I'm sorry. That was week 5. I'm sorry. That was my mistake.
Okay, well, there we go. We're going to be moving on to week 6. Keep tabs on UGC Double Down. And, of course, all the information that you're looking at here is available on noobcombo.com, run by Matty himself. So you can see everything that we've talked about today on Noob Combo and get some more detail on that and the relevant links that you need to go to find the original posts and whatnot. But once again, that closes our news segment for today. Thank you, Matty, for joining me once again.
You got it. Anytime.
I'll see you next week, man.
Sounds good.
All right, that closes our news. We're going to move on to our second segment in the show. I'm happy to reintroduce our MCC Trick Jump of the Week with ClearlyMe. How's it going, Clearly?
Going good, man.
Nice to see you.
You too, man.
Yeah. What do we have this week? Apparently, you've got a skill jump. I think you were posting something on Twitter about it, like a competition, like somebody for them to try to actually like recreate it.
Yeah. Well, with this new segment I have with you guys, I was trying to think of ways to show how these jumps are useful.
Right.
Like my friend last week was chasing me when I was going to shotgun room, and I did the jump up from bottom shotgun to top shotgun. I thought it would be fun to run a contest and let people jump in and literally. I posted a clip of me doing a little jump on Guardian, and I challenged people to recreate it. And the first person to recreate it would be the one to assist me in the clip that I submit to you guys for this week's segment.
Okay.
And we recorded it last night, and that's what I'm going to be showing you guys today.
All right, let's take a look.
And this is on Last Resort.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Guardian one, but I guess that was a different one.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just a quick little jump from bottom of camp.
Man, that would have been so crucial in Big Team Battle. Damn it.
Yes. Yes, and you can see me popping up in the background here.
Okay. Sneaky. Look at you. That's like a blue team thing, too. It looks like you blend in with the wall back there.
Yeah.
But that's a crucial one because a lot of people will try to bring that lift out and then use the lift to get up there. But if you don't have that accessible, that's a nice quick jump to get up there. So how exactly does this work?
So basically you're running and jumping at a very specific point, and you're reaching that ledge that I'm jumping off of at the peak of your jump. And due to your loss of momentum at that point, you're able to momentarily jump off of it and jump back and land up on the second level of Camp Roman there.
So is it an edge ghost that we're looking at? Is there like a...
That's just a ghost jump.
Just a ghost jump. So the line that you're jumping off of is that crease in the middle of the pole right there that you're crouch jumping to?
Correct. And I will be posting a tutorial later on tonight on my Twitter, which is at MCC Trick Jumps, if you guys want to tune in for that.
Right. So if you want to know how to use this... Exactly. So you want the detailed breakdown, how to use this jump, and make sure that you can apply it effectively in gameplay. MCC Trick Jumps on Twitter is where you want to go to check that out. That's one that I wish I had for the BTB, but now that I know, maybe I can apply it next time. Hopefully they do more BTB stuff in the future and we get some more opportunities for some sick last resort jumps. But thank you so much, ClearlyMe, for joining me once again.
Of course, man. Can't wait for next week.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to seeing what you have next week with your trick jumps.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
No problem. All right, that closes our second segment, and now I am happy to introduce the interview for today. The man behind the lens who's giving us all the detailed photography for these amazing HCS events. I'm excited to welcome David Doran, Sandman, to the stream.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Good. Yourself?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
You just came back from the Invitational as well. So how you feeling, man? Did you stay up? Like, did you drink a lot on the Sunday night? You doing okay? Was the event fun for you too?
Dude, it was a blast. Like I mentioned to Tashi on Twitter, I think it was actually probably top 5 HCS events for me.
Right.
I didn't really go out and drink too much. I did hang out with my typical crew that I hang out with. Got to see them and everybody else in the Halo family. So it was really cool, man. Good time.
Yeah, and we got to play some Smash Ultimate as well, which I just realized I didn't even know. Like, I was like, "Where's David?" Like, I wanted to finally find you so I could somehow get myself in a photo because you got all these awesome photos, and I can't seem to get in the photos. But we played Smash Bros together and we were hanging out. So nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Dude, you destroyed me, man. You did.
Dude,
I don't know. My cloud just wasn't good enough. I don't know.
I spent most of my time complaining about my controls. So
yeah, the controller.
Probably a pain in the ass to play against me because I had to keep resetting it. My controller settings weren't saving for some reason.
I thought it was I was having a blast because every time you restart it, I got to just play more Smash. So it worked out.
Sure. All right, fair enough. I like that mindset. That's a good.
Yeah.
Good mindset. Now, as far as this interview goes, typically what I do is I ask people how they got into Halo, and I'm going to probably ask you that at some point, but you have a different area of expertise, of course. What I'd like to know is how you first got into photography.
So I think back in 2014, 2013, I wanted to be a director. I wanted to be like a guy who makes movies and stuff. And so I starved myself for like 3 months from like May, June, July. Ate like a meal a day, and I bought a camera. Yeah, and I bought a camera, the camera that I have now. And I was like, I'm gonna make a movie. I wrote a screenplay and all this stuff. And then I realized, like, man, I can't do this like by myself. And it was very difficult to get people together to try and to make a collaborative effort into making a movie.
Right.
And I had always been a big fan of Call of Duty and Halo and esports. So I just kind of found out that you could become an esport photographer. And I was like, I don't need people to help me to be an esport photographer. I can do that by myself.
Right.
And so I kind of just ventured down photography, and that's kind of where I started on that.
So was there no schooling in this? It was just like you saw an opportunity, like you wanted to be a filmmaker, and then you realized you needed a team for that, so you just picked up the camera, and there's no educational background. You just kind of start snapping photos?
Yeah, no, I just picked it up, and a lot of people were telling me, they were like, start small, start with the beginner camera because you may not like it. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to buy the best I can get, and I'm going to produce the best that I can get.
Damn.
Like right now. So that's what I did. Yeah, no schooling though. No, just online tutorials and just doing it and then learning from mistakes.
Yeah, I like that. Exactly. Like, cause you don't need that stuff. You can actually just, get in there, take that leap of faith and make it work. And that's exactly what you did. Cause you have some amazing photos, not just from esports, but you're taking photography in concerts as well. Yeah. I saw some pretty cool bands that I recognize there. And Tony will be throwing up photos from time to time here as well. So you guys can check those out. Also, I want to let you guys know that he's got a Flickr page. Tony, do you have the link for it? So we can throw that in the chat. So he's got a Flickr page with all of his albums. And I recommend that you guys check this out while you listen to the interview. We can look at some of these photos together. It's just an unbelievable roster. There's tons of photos there that you've been throwing up. And of course, you have the HCS Invitational photos just recently as well.
Yep.
And so on your website, and like you said, it was like 2013, 2014, where you just had this whole interest in general. So you started going to events as recently as 2015. And then your first one was, at least as far as the Flickr page goes, MLG Austin X Games. So what was that first experience like? And I guess, was there any reason why you chose that as your first event? What got you to go there?
So it's actually a pretty interesting story.
Okay.
So
story time.
Story time. So my sister is a big Metallica fan, so is my brother-in-law, and Metallica was actually there at X Games that year, and we were like, dude, we gotta go. And well, it just so happened that COD X Games was there as well, and I was like, I can go there too. But I was like, man, how do I bring my camera in? Because as a lot of people will probably know, you can't just walk into events with cameras and stuff, especially ESPN high-profile X Games.
Exactly.
So after numerous emails and trying to kind of make myself seem like I'm somebody important and bigger than what I was, because I was nothing and nobody, I kind of shameful to admit this. I swindled my way in, and I obtained a ESPN like Media X Games credential,
right,
which allowed me to bring my camera. So we went down there, and I shot COD X Games, and I shot Metallica, and some other couple concerts they had there, and yeah, that was the reason we went down. It was originally for Metallica, but I was like, dude, COD's there as well, and it was my first esport event, and I got to meet a lot of people that have kind of influenced me going forward today, and who have even helped me get jobs today as well.
Yeah. So I was thinking after the story, I'd find some sort of like a recommendation to the viewers here, because you got to take that leap of faith, go out to these events. But it turns out you swindled your way into a media badge, so I'm not sure how to make my my recommendation. But yeah, that's kind of what you have to do is find your way to legitimize yourself as a photographer and grab yourself that media badge and just get in there and take those photos. And it's good that you did that. It's good that you had the confidence to just go through with that and try it and see how it went, because now it turns out it's become pretty successful endeavor for you. And I like how your position on photography is as a passion project as well. I was looking at your website, and you talk about how you're there because you truly love what you do, and you mentioned how your passion is what separates you from other photographers. And I'd love to hear more on that. But also, I noticed that so far you appear to photograph events from specific games, so like Halo, COD, Gears, and Smash Bros. Is that because those are your favorite games, or what really inspires you, I guess, to choose these communities for your work?
First and foremost, Halo is my favorite franchise and has been since like 2006.
Right.
So it's like I wish I could have photographed events back then. I wish I was into it.
Right.
So with Halo, it's just if I see Halo, I go, because I love Halo and I love the community. They're all like my friends, It's like a big family. And then with COD, back then it was more so just like it's a big game, it's growing, there's a lot of eyes on it. And I just kind of assumed, like, man, if I can get in on this, like, it's a lot of eyes on my work. And that's a big reason my Twitter kind of grew a little bit, was because of the COD scene. And in regards to Smash, I just love that. I love the hype.
Smash is so sick. I'm so glad
they're so hype,
Smash.
dude.
Yeah.
They're so hype. And, like, it's, like, the easiest thing to photograph.
Yeah.
Because it's so hype. Yeah. And then with Gears, UGC is actually the one who actually gave me the opportunity to do that. And that was just as easy, just because it's so hype as well. I mean, the players are absolutely insane.
Oh my god, dude! The trash talk and stuff, people getting up and like yelling in each other's faces.
Yeah,
that's good photo material.
Dude, it's easy. Yeah. I don't mean I just stand there and it's like they just bring it to me. So easy. But Halo's definitely just a straight passion. Like I would do it, no matter what. I don't big Halo event, small Halo event. It doesn't matter. Because Halo is kind of like purpose in my life at this point.
Exactly, man. And I'm with you there on that. I mean, the Halo show, I wouldn't be here without Halo as well. But I love that. And I love that you specifically are looking at those. I'm sure you'll branch out into other games as well. But these happen to be games that I absolutely love. And they're very grassroots. They're on console, smaller communities. But games like, for example, Smash Bros. As well, there's so much personality to captivate like in those photos and whatnot. So it's great. To see you doing that as well. So yeah, you said Halo was the main passion. How did you get into Halo then? I'll give you the question I usually ask at the start.
So I actually used to hate Halo as a franchise. I thought it was stupid.
Okay, all right.
But that was back in 2004 when I was like a big PlayStation guy. It wasn't even that I had a reason to hate it. It was more so just
young
I hate Xbox.
Not knowledgeable at all.
Yeah, just ignorance.
Terrible. Okay.
And there was a moment when I think of my sister's friend brought over like a couple Xboxes and they were like playing Halo 2, and me being like an arrogant kid, I would just I could beat you. You guys suck. This game's not even hard. Game's hard. The game is hard.
So hard.
So, I don't know how old I was back then, but I played, they destroyed me, and I was like, man, that's bull crap. And it's not fair. And I wanted to be better than them, and I don't know, it like ignited this flame in me that I wanted to be good at that game.
Oh yeah.
And then and there's actually a YouTube video of it, of me getting my first Xbox. It was at 360 in 2007 in Christmas. Nice. It's like me like caressing it and stuff. It's really weird.
Yeah, Nintendo 64 kid, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So after that one moment where I got destroyed in Halo 2 after hating Halo as a franchise for no reason, it just ignited it. And then when I played Halo 3 for the first time, I got into the lore. I love the campaign.
Yeah.
And I like the multiplayer was my life. I mean, I never stopped playing it. I got COD 4 and Halo 3 the same year, and I didn't open COD 4 for like a year. It was still in the plastic. And
that game was a great game in its own right too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But yeah, there is something beautiful about the ass whooping that you receive the first time you play Halo. I think that's really what it is. It's like you just get your ass beat so bad. You're like, God, this is a tough game. I want to get better at this game. There's like, it's attractive from that background. And so many people have that same experience where they played it with somebody, like at somebody's house wwho already had the game. They were already pretty good at it, and they're just getting slapped. And they're like, oh my God, dude, like, what am I doing wrong? How do I fix this? I need to play more.
It's a problem solving thing. It makes you eager to learn, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, Halo had such a great balance of that. Like all the way back in 2001, they set a precedent. There was nothing quite like it at the time, and it's still it's still beautiful today. So, let's get back into the photography. Tony, you can throw up a couple more photos. I know you got some Metallica, some other Halo events and stuff like that. As a photographer, I find you're kind of like the ultimate spectator. You're given the flexibility to be wherever you need to be to capture the best moments. When you're on the job, is there like a formula for getting a good picture? What do you typically look for when you're kind of just walking around the venue?
So with Halo, when it comes to the pro players, specifically, I've been doing this for like 4 years now, 3-4 years. So nowadays, I can just kind of I know how people react when they win, they lose. I know who gets hype. I know who gets down. Like I've really grown to like learn these players and their mannerisms over a period of time. So with Halo, it's easy. With Halo, it's very simple. I know what to look for when it comes to players and who wins and who loses and stuff. When it comes to crowd, I know who gets hype, and then that's like. And if you don't know who gets hype, just watch the crowd. See how crowd reacts to certain things going on. Right. And it really allows you to learn and kind of just get a feel for it. And then overall, I walk around. I never stop just looking at things, whether it's angles, lighting, shadows, or any kind of opportunity where if I see fan interaction with a pro, or any kind of moment where I feel like there could even be emotion, like shooting through the roof, whether it's someone like who is, sad, angry, hype. Anything like that. It's really just observation. You really have to keep your eyes open and just watch everything. Yeah. And just never stop moving. Just keep moving around.
Yeah, that's actually so cool. Like the amount that you get to observe everything. It's like you're a spectator, and then you have a backstage pass as well. You see things that like nobody else really gets to see, and you're looking at them from a totally different perspective. You're looking for inspiration, right? Like the right angle, the lighting. So that's really cool. There was one thing before we went on the interview, you were telling me about the HCS Invitational and something you saw backstage about the trophy. What was that? Oh my God! It was so funny when you. I want the viewers to know.
No, yeah. So it's really cool. It's kind of interesting how like production can kind of like quickly do things. Right. So they weren't allowed to have like a fog machine in the venue because some convention centers don't allow that kind of thing. So the collaborative effort of the production team, they allowed they had two people.
The trophy, right?
They were
with some fog.
Yeah, they were because they wanted instead of it just standing there, they wanted it to have some ambiance.
Right.
So they had two production assistants lay down, and they shot their vape like this, and so the lights behind each vape smoke was like red and blue, and it went around the trophy, and it looks really cool.
Oh my God!
And I think it more so started as a joke, like, hey, look at this, we got fog machines, but then it's like, oh dang, we can use this as B-roll footage or photos, and it worked.
Wow. So all the fog machine fog that you saw was vape smoke from two dudes lying down behind the trophy, blowing vape smoke behind. That's actually hilarious. That's so
it works. So it's really what people can come up with on the fly for production. It's really handy.
And those are just some of the types of experiences that you would get as the photographer, being back there for those moments and seeing things that nobody else really gets the chance to take a look at. So that's cool. And one thing as well is with some of these photos, I wonder what kind of angles you must be getting to grab them, or if you have to do any kind of acrobatics or something to get in the spot to take the photo. Is there anything dangerous that you've ever had to do as a photographer?
Not so much with esports just yet. There has been moments where I've almost fallen off a stage, or I've almost kind of bumped into something that I shouldn't have bumped into that could have potentially
destroyed the whole set or something. Yeah.
Kind of like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God, wires everywhere.
But I think it was a music concert.
Right.
And I looked to the left, and he came over, and the vocalist bent downward, and I like slid on my knees to get underneath him to shoot up. Oh yeah, and I like scraped my knees up really bad. I was wearing like shorts for whatever reason.
Right.
Yeah, I basically like Halo 5 slid.
Yeah.
Underneath the vocalist.
You thrust slid under the vocalist and snapped a quick photo. That's unreal.
It worked. The photo's actually on the Flickr too. It worked though.
Yeah.
Trying to think any other than that though. I don't think I don't think I've ever had to like break my arms or anything like that. Actually, no. There has been a couple times
or something like just.
Yeah, I mean, there has been a couple times where I'm pretty tall. I'm like 6'1", so like I would have to like extend my arms up to or like over a player. It almost looks like you're about to drop the camera on them just to try something differerent.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much all I've ever had to do with that. Thankfully, I don't ever want to like ruin a production or kind of feel like, hey, this guy's in the way.
So you're not at the stage in your life where you're climbing tall buildings and like the top of skyscrapers just to take a picture of like your shoes and like the world below that or whatever. No?
Oh, actually, there was one then. Yeah, there was.
Yeah, you climb stuff because that's a thing too. People are like climbing, scaling buildings just to take a nice photo and then.
So I have done that before, and we got kicked out. It was like an abandoned like warehouse type of building.
Yeah.
And and then there was another instance where I went down to like a wildlife reserve area down here in Oklahoma, and they have like wild bison, and I didn't have a big zoom lens at the time, so I got very, very, very close to this wild bison, while people like behind me are yelling like you're gonna die. Right. So it was pretty intimidating. I'm like, I'm about to get charged by a wild animal. So but I got the photo, so
right,
it worked
exactly.
Out.
Like if you get a good photo in the end, it's like it just seems worth it, right?
The payoff is worth it.
That. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll keep rolling some of these HCS. Actually, no, do we want the invitational photos? Okay, no. So we just got back from the HCS Invitational, of course. Let's get some photos up from that as well. So HCS Invitational photos this time, Tony. You were announced as the dedicated photographer for this event, and for good reason. You do some great work. At what point did 343 start to notice your work and give you a more dedicated role, and how has that been going so far?
So this was more so of a collaborative effort between like the HCS and the production team that they had.
Right.
First of all, I'm just grateful to even have that opportunity to do that. Opposed to me just kind of like freelancing, just kind of like going to the events on my own. It's nice to actually like be a part of their team. It feels, which is something I've always wanted. I've always wanted to be a part of the team.
Right.
It came to all that. Like I wanted to feel like I was like, okay, I'm helping them with Halo, opposed to just kind of doing my own thing, shooting and then uploading as my own thing. But it was, I don't know, it was a real honor to have that opportunity. And I kind of hope that it happens more.
Yeah,
because I've been doing this for a while. So, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would see that happening as well. I think this event sets a really good precedent for the stuff that follows. We'll talk about that in a second as well. But sure. But just photographing this must have been like a whole different challenge as well. Just because you had the 4v4 on main stage, you had a streaming booth in a totally different separate, like a separate spot in the venue. You had BTB, you had Snipe Down versus Lethal, you had Chubby Bunny challenges. Like there's so much exciting stuff going on. How was it capturing the event? Like, did it feel like a unique experience in comparison to other events?
So the 4v4 Pro Down thing was just, business as usual.
Right. You've been there before.
Been there before, done it tons of times.
Yeah.
So when the big team battle thing happened, I was standing there looking at the scale of everything. I'm looking at the 16 players, and I'm like, how do I know who's going to get hype? Like I can't can't watch 16
Golden
screens.
Boy for sure.
And Golden Boy and Walshy were definitely the two.
Is the hype is the indicator, by the way? So if I was up there and I was screaming, that would have got me. That's what I got to do next time.
Think of it as like levels. Like obviously we get action shots of everybody.
Right.
But it's like if I start seeing somebody get hype, I'm like, he's gonna get hype again. Like it puts like a flag above their head.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, I gotta watch them, and if I can, if like I don't know, like if they throw their POV on the screen, he has a sniper, I'll watch him because he might pull off a crazy play with a sniper, like a no scope or something like that. But it was definitely challenging to try and just look at 16 players.
Right.
Yeah, I can't imagine trying to photograph like a battle royale like type game or something. And then just having to the rivals matches was really cool. So was the big team battle. It was fun. It was actually probably easier to shoot just because everybody was smiling, laughing, opposed to looking dead serious onto the screens like the Pro 4v4.
Yeah.
And then obviously just going like, because you were there in the stream area and stuff. It's in a whole other side of the building.
Yep.
So having to run back and forth between those two to make sure that I don't miss matches or miss streaming opportunities and things like that. So it was different. Instead of it all being in one room. If it was all in one room, it definitely would have made it easier.
Yeah. And to keep yourself on a tight schedule, I guess, kind of like jumping around to different locations.
Oh, absolutely. Because I also had to deliver photos as well. Like I have to go back into the backstage edit and then deliver.
Oh, true. Damn, like right away. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I tried to do is I need to get better at it, but I would just take pictures of the starting teams that are up there, action shots, full team shots, and I would upload them to the Dropbox so they could use them for social. And then, while the matches are going on, I would run to the other area, get photos there, come back, try and get celebratory fist bump shots. Because you potentially have like 3, 4, 5 games to do it.
Sure.
So it's not just one and done. So that helps a lot and kind of help. You just have to plan it out.
Yeah.
But it was different for sure.
Something I'm sure going to continue to get better at as time goes by. And hopefully they organize the event in such a way where everything's like in the same location in the future. You don't have to run around too much. But you're right in that there were so many different emotions displayed at this event in comparison to what you usually get because of all the fun that we were having. Like usually pros are coming in, they're so serious, they're laser focused, they'll pop off with energy, but like rarely are they just like smiling and having a good time. I remember the Snipe Down versus Lethal matches, the commentary, like the comms on that was so hilarious. Like Ola is like, I'm gonna throw this sticky in the air. Let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens. Like everybody's just chilling and having a good time. So the type of like material you could get from that was great.
Yeah.
And on top of that, what you always do is you have your black and whites as well. You select a couple hand-picked photos and then you black and white them. Yeah. And Tony, show some of the ones that we had on Twitter here. We have Roy right there looking beautiful. There's a Walshy GQ model shot there it is. Look at this man. Yeah. Like, what's this, Calvin Klein? Like, what
did they say on the caster's desk? They called him Dave 2.0. That's what they called him.
There's Lottie said that, I think.
Yeah, Dave 2.0, looking fresh.
Yeah, actually, like he's got to get the Red Bull sponsor back for that one right there.
100%.
Yeah,
he deserves the world. Walshy's incredible.
Actually, I had him on last week. The man's amazing. So happy to see him again at the Invitational. You had Lottie in there as well. A nice picture of her. You had to sneak the camera underneath her there.
Yeah. It was we had this running joke because the caster desk was very up high and it had like a railing system around.
Right.
And we had this ongoing joke between both of us where it was like it looked like jail because they were bars. And I just kind of had my hands on the bars like that. And it was just, I don't know, it just kind of felt like jail. And we just had this ongoing joke throughout the weekend about it. But it was actually really hard to shoot the casters this event because of the movies.
Yeah, the angle being a little weird.
Oh yeah.
Just seeing these photos, like these are so beautiful. Honestly, like one of my personal goals is to get into a black and white photo at some point. I'll do what I can to be worthy of the black and white photo at some point in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Snipe Down one as well. Snipe Down, he killed it in the event throughout. So nice to see him in there. So are you okay? So next up we have just as a spectator, so you're taking photos, that's your main focus, but what did you think of the event just in general as a spectator? Like they had like a grassroots feel. Do you think that was a good thing for Halo?
Oh yeah, 100%. It was definitely a much more like a relaxed event. It didn't feel like some kind of like corporate major event.
Yeah.
And like I tell people all the time, I'm a Halo fan first before a photographer. Like I'm a Halo spectator before,
Right.
And like I told Tashi, this is like one of the best events that I had ever gotten to watch. The matches were great. Big team battle and everything was super fun. It was super relaxed, dude.
Yep.
And it was so cool to have like the grassroots member like you and Proximity, Stress, Ubernick, all the people like the streamers, YouTubers, and content creators. I don't know. It's really cool to kind of put those people out in the spotlight, mixed in with like pro gamers, community members, devs. So it just kind of, I don't know, the whole grassroots theme this entire year has been really cool just because it feels like we're kind of all in this together kind of feel. And I feel like that's kind of what we needed more than most things. We just need very good ran events. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're all in this together kind of feel.
I think that's literally it. Like, we are a grassroots community, and there's more of a sense of community in these recent events than we've ever, like, maybe not ever had, but just like they are really focusing on community here. It's like Smash Bros as well. It's just building out the personalities and the members of your community by having nice little like one-off things like Chubby Bunny and Big Team Battle and stuff like that. And then you have the dedicated fans to these players because they're getting to know these players a little bit better, and they're becoming part of the action. Like, this is one thing that I wish we have in the future, but they have the Beyond the Summit house.
Oh my
Smash
God,
Bros.
dude, yes.
Yes. So like at some point, Halo's going to pop off again. We already know it's going to happen because they announced MCC PC. They got Halo Infinite coming out. We'll talk about what you think about that stuff as well. But like when Halo pops off and we have like a Summit house where they do invitationals. So like you have to vote for your favorite player to get them in the house. And then they just play like hardcore Halo the entire weekend. And they do like one-off, like they play Mafia, they play whatever. You get to know all the players. I think Halo could recreate that like perfectly. And we would have such a massive just like community fan base that are supporting these players. So I think this sets like a great precedent. They need to do this, just continue to do this stuff. And community, like the personality of the community is what's going to make this game survive. You know, like at the end of the day, that's what
I 100% agree with you. And the Beyond the Summit thing, me and Matty were talking about this last night.
Right.
And I literally, if I had the money, I'd do it myself. Because if you put our pro players and our community members and stuff in like a relaxed environment like Big Team Battle or the Rivals match, they have personality. There's tons of personality there. And I think it would be amazing.
Some of it was creeping out at the like I said about Ola starting to show his true self. Like, you guys got to listen to it. Like, if you listen to like a Snipe Down stream at like the end of the stream after their scrims, when they're just chatting with each other,
they're so funny.
The real personality, and they'll tell you stories about like past events, like Mickwin getting pantsed and stuff, and like everybody seeing, and he was totally chill about it too. Apparently, he just picked him back up and was like, "Yeah, no worries, whatever." Like, I don't know, the whole you gotta listen to the personalities behind it. Or even the recent Twitter clip that was hilarious it's super old now, but it was Snakebite just kind of like almost aggressively being like, we can't just get the rail gun and just lose map positioning like that or whatever. And
then did you say like, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? That was the best clip. So just stuff like that is going to make Halo survive, like almost regardless of where it goes in the future. But of course, that's important as well. So are you excited for MCC PC with the recent announcements and whatnot? Like, what do you think this means for Halo's future?
I mean, I'm excited for it for like, in regards to just the positive influence that it'll have on the community.
Right.
I mean, I'm not a big mouse keyboard guy personally.
Right.
I'm controller all the way, controller gang. So, I'm not excited for it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'll play it, especially because if there's a, growing population. But I am happy that it's coming because it needs to happen. I mean, it was inevitable. It's good for the scene, especially like, this is almost kind of like a test run for Halo on PC, just to kind of maybe even get like a glimpse of what it could be like for Infinite. Whenever that releases. So I'm on board with it 100%. It's necessary.
Yeah, it does prepare the company for Infinite as well, which is great. And I mean, having it on Steam, that's one of the biggest things too. Like, Steam's a massive platform. Everybody can play it now. There's no limitations. There's no, like, it's easily accessible. So that's going to be huge. And then Infinite is being created from the ground up for PC, with PC in mind. So I can't even just fathom what that's going to look like. A whole new engine, like just a totally different experience. So hopefully it stays Halo, and it seems like 343 is really focused on giving like the best possible Halo experience. But yeah, this rollout. So. Yeah, we at this point we're all like, now more than ever, this is your time.
This is it.
yeah. So I do have just a couple more questions, and I forgot to ask this, or I forgot to ask this of the chat once again, guys. But make sure if you have any questions for David Sandman in the chat, just let me know if there's something that I've missed here. If there's something you want to ask him personally, silly questions, serious questions, whatever you guys got, drop them in the chat. Tony, if you're listening, make sure to grab some of those questions so I can ask them for our viewers here. So just continuing on, of course, with all the photos that you gather, they're all available on Flickr. So what does that mean for like putting them on my profile picture or on a YouTube thumbnail? Is this stuff just available to anybody?
Yeah. I don't really say this as much as I used to, but I was very adamant on I shoot for the community.
Right.
Like I am the Halo community photographer, and I shoot for everything that I have is able to be used. It's not a problem with me. I don't care, about money or anything like that. I just care about providing Halo with the content that it needs so that people can use it to do other things with.
Right.
Because I'm the only photographer at these things, these Halo events.
Man, you're going to be one of many in a couple of years' time. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure you're very thankful that you managed to be that one.
No, yeah, I really am actually. It's I take a lot of pride in it. Yeah. All my photos on my Flickr or anything like that, it's all available to be used for thumbnails or social and things like that. Just anything to help out Halo. That's what I'm here for.
I love it, man. Very respectable. Guys, make sure if you grab one of his photos, give the man a shout out at least, but doing amazing things for the community, all these beautiful, like these photos are literally like thumbnail opportunity when I see them. So I think there's some great content in there to redistribute to the community. So as far as your photography goes, where do you hope to see yourself in the future? Is there any kind of like a future goal that you have in mind? Could be a tough question.
Yeah. I mean, it's a question that I ask myself all the time. I mean, in regards to the music side of things, I'd love to tour. I would absolutely love to tour with a band. I think shooting behind the scenes shots as well as like obviously the concert stuff, I think that'd just be a fucking awesome thing to do.
Yeah.
And then in regards to the esports sides of things, I want to be like literally like Halo photographer. I know a lot of like people I follow on Twitter and stuff like that. They like joke like, yeah, you're the Halo photographer.
You are, man. I'd say like most people would literally, but I get what you're saying is you want to like literally be the Halo photographer, recognized by the Halo, like the company 343 themselves.
Right. And like, and no matter what like production team or, whether it's like UGC, MLG, NGE, Summit, anything, like I want to be picked up. It's like, oh, well, if Halo's here, we have to get him. He's the Halo guy.
Right.
Like that's kind of what I want. Right. That's the dream, I think. I just want to help put Halo in a limelight that people can see that like we're not dead, dude. We're still here.
We're not dead, dude.
like the gameplay here is amazing. The tournaments are amazing. The crowd is amazing. Like Halo is one of the best esports to watch, man, and people are missing out.
Yeah, man, you're going to make me emotional just saying this stuff, but it's the right mindset, and I'm confident that you will achieve that. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. Just more events, more photos, like you're killing it. So Halo's got to pick you up. If they already are. So just more of it. Just more of it. We got Dallas coming up. We have no idea what's coming next. I remember we were talking before the interview, but we just need more events announced, more places to hit, more destinations, more good times, more Halo. It's all coming. It's all exciting, man.
I have Beachland after Dallas, so I'm pretty excited about that. That's kind of like a Beyond the Summit kind of thing, except less like fun stuff, like besides Halo. Like it'll just be like a strict Halo CE tournament in a house, on the beach. So I'm really excited to do it because it's something very different besides the current competitive Halo game that everybody's playing.
Right, exactly. Yeah, something a little more unique as far as photography goes. So for my last question before we get into Q&A, it's my little Kappa pride moment here. But you're also a pretty good looking guy yourself. You ever considered being on the other side of the camera before?
Absolutely not.
No, that's not your thing. You don't like that?
No, absolutely not. Too awkward, man. I'm a really awkward, quiet, unsocial guy.
I find I can be that way too. If I'm not on camera, it's like just reverse, Just
reverse. It's funny though, because it's like around the right people.
You're right.
I'm me. You know what I'm saying? I can be me. I can be funny and joking and be kind of like what I really am. Other than that, though, I'm pretty awkward. And hey, if someone could snap a photo of me,
you got some good photos. That works.
Yeah.
All right. So you'll stick to the shooting for now, and
behind the camera for me.
Yeah, once you become the Halo photographer, you'll become the Halo on camera guys as well. I'm kidding. I don't know.
Yeah. Abby.
Yeah. So let's jump into some of our questions here. We have MattyRums in the chat. Said, what is David's dream event to shoot? Probably hasn't come yet, but
dream event.
What about like E3 or like massive events like that?
I have always wanted to shoot Evo.
Oh damn! Evo would be sick.
But as of right,
melee in Evo, so no point.
No, that's a good point. I don't want to go Evo. Genesis. Genesis is CEO, but as of late, I've had this like idea in my head. I want to shoot like a Halo 3 World Championship. I know it's not gonna. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen, but
could,
because I'm the only photographer to ever shoot all 3 Halo World Championships, and I take pride in that.
Right.
And I would love like a $1 million Halo 3 World Championship. That's what I want.
So just whisper to 343 there, a $1 million Halo 3 MCC. That could actually be possible, like World Championship.
Oh yeah,
across even cross-platform, PC, Xbox. I don't know how that's going to turn out. A little scary to think about, but I mean, it's all possible.
Hey, imagine doing like they did last year, a Halo World Championship in Seattle, and just bring your PC stuff. Hey, come try Halo PC. A little side tournament as well. Like,
yeah,
bring out people like that. That's what I'd want to do besides like CEO or Genesis. Would be like another Halo World Championship. That's what I want.
Just because you were saying in the beginning of the interview, you missed that legacy, the Halo 1, 2, 3, when everything was just absolutely massive. And I'm hoping, I'm pretty confident we're going to get that back one day as well. So you'll have the opportunity. But as far as legacy stuff goes, hopefully MCC takes advantage and gives us a big world championship.
Agreed. At least one, just one. At least
one.
Before Infinite comes out and does, we all go to that.
It takes over, and there's no reason to play anything else anymore.
Right. Exactly.
So that is the one question I have, and that's probably my bad because I never say anything until the very last minute. But
no worries, man.
But overall, just chatting with you was a great time.
Yeah,
man.
You as well.
Yeah, where can we find you? I know you have like the Twitter and do you stream ever or anything?
Do I stream?
I know you're playing Apex in the background a second ago. Make it live for viewers.
Yeah. So yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at David Sandman with 2 S's in the S. Excuse me.
Oh wait, I have other questions. My bad. I'm
do?
Sorry, Tony. Yeah.
Oh.
I read the last one and I thought that was it. Jesus. All right. Sorry, dude. All right,
dude, you're good, bro.
No, I'm saying sorry to Tony.
Oh, okay.
Keep asking questions if you have them, guys. My bad. I'm gonna go back. Wash Frank. What was one event you didn't get to photograph but wish you did? So that's kind of like what we just talked about. But let's do it again. Literally the same.
And yeah, it's a little different. Wait, what's one event that I wish I could have photographed?
Yeah.
But didn't?
Right.
Oh, that's easy, man. That's X Games Aspen.
Really? Is that the Halo X Games?
Yeah, I drove 14 hours in my car. I was shooting for Astro Gaming, but they booked me so late that there was no hotels, but they had flights. And I was like, well, there's no point in flying me out because where would I sleep?
Right.
I was like, don't worry about it. Just reimburse me for the miles. I drove an 03 Stratus with like 170,000 miles into the Aspen Mountains, 15-hour drive. Got there, got my pass. I'm like, oh my God, I'm ready. This is insane. And then winter storm's coming. I have to be back at work Monday.
Jeez.
So I was like, dude, I can't get stuck here. So I decided I'm going to turn around and leave. I got all the way there. I turned around and they had a warning where you weren't allowed to drive through the mountains without chains on your tires. So I had to spend like $900 to get my car towed out.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I towed the car out of the mountains into Denver. It was like a 3-hour drive through the mountains. And then I drove all the way back home and I watched Evil Geniuses win. And they're my favorite team.
Yeah.
And,
Jeez, that's the drive of shame, dude. That sucks.
Yeah, dude. It was, yeah.
Damn. And yeah, that was EG's Halo 5 event. That was the one that they got, actually.
Yeah. And I'm a humongous Roy and Lunch fan. They've been my favorite players since
you got the best photos of them this time too. And Roy just changed his profile photo right after.
Yeah. I got pretty emotional about that. Because like awesome. I said, they I felt like a lot of people weren't making a big deal about it, but they hadn't won an event, man, or even been in a grand final since X Games.
Right.
So the fact that I got to be there and photograph that moment, that meant the world to me. That meant the world.
Yeah. Ola had a pretty powerful moment on stage at the very end of the tournament when they won. And he had been talking about how he was thinking about his time being up. Should he stop? Should he give up? Yeah. And then he won the event. I guess the answer was, he shouldn't stop. He should keep going. He said it really well on stage. It was the best answer.
Play forever.
Play forever. Never stop.
Don't stop. He won the 2v2 and the 4v4.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
He killed it. I'm actually really curious to see what happens with these players when they become 40 as well, right? Because I feel like the esports industry hasn't grown to the point where our top professional players are even the age to know what would happen to them. For example, your top Snipe Down, when he's pushing 40, is he still able to game? Did he screw himself too much gaming too long, or his hands gonna be too sore? Or is he still gonna I'm just curious to see what happens when we are all older and whether or not they're still streaming, they're playing regularly. Yeah,
that's a question for Ogre too, I think.
Actually, there you go. Yeah, Ogre 2's kind of, but he's still playing tons of Halo.
Yeah, he still plays.
Still doing well. Yeah,
he plays casual,
Yeah. So, we have SF Ice.
Oh yeah, Bash. Yeah, what up, Bash?
What's your favorite Halo photograph you've ever taken? It's a tough one.
Ooh, that is a tough one. Oh God, there's so many, dude.
Seriously,
dude, there's so many. Probably gonna be. Okay, so it's a tie between.
This is tough. And can we get it? I want to see it once you say it.
Yeah.
To find it.
I mean, I don't know. It was probably like when there's a couple. So it happened in the same tournament. So it's fall finals. Envy with Snipe Down and Hook and Ola and Mikwin, I believe, was the roster. Okay. And they beat Optic. And it was a big deal because
2017,
not many people were beating them, and they lit up, man. I got like a crazy shot of Eric like roaring like a lion.
Oh my god!
And then I got
Tony. Find it, Tony.
It's on Astro Gaming's Twitter or on their Flickr. I wasn't allowed to upload it to mine since I was shooting for them. And Eric.
HCS Las Vegas, is that it?
No. Fall finals. It was like fall finals Burbank. Yeah. Okay. And then there's another one in that same album where Eric is like kissing the trophy, and I've never gotten a shot like that in Halo ever.
Nice.
Even now. And then
that's actually a good one.
Yeah, and then obviously the Roy shot. The Roy shot was like really, really important to me.
Roy Popoff?
Yeah, Roy won at this event. Because like after I took it, I went to the back. I told all the 343 people, I was like, I waited 4 fucking years to get that.
Literally since X Games, because he did the same pop off. They had I saw the tweet.
Yeah, I literally. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's such a sick photo.
Waited so long.
Yeah. Man.
Like he's my favorite player. Him and Lunch are my favorite players. Like I have freaking an autographed Instinct hat up there somewhere with all their signatures on it, and it's cool to become like I've become like their friend more than just like a fan.
Yeah.
It's really cool though. But yeah, definitely those.
Yeah. He's insanely humble too. I found.
Dude, yeah.
You try to talk to him, and he doesn't think as highly as I think he should of his gameplay and of his performance on things. He's so humble.
Dude, he's the Royborg, man. He the best shot in 03 from like
he's insane.
08,
I know.
It's insane.
I'm gonna try to figure out how to get him on HCS Weekly as soon as possible. But yeah.
Dude, get him and Lunch.
Yeah, that would be just too much hype in one episode. I'm probably gonna do it one at a time. I don't know, because I feel like I wouldn't be able to do it justice. I want each of their stories of their histories and everything. 100%. But, yeah. We have Alpaca Laka with another question.
Jeez.
Wait, Tony, I'm getting another message from you about throwing. You're still looking for the image, I'm assuming. Oh
yeah, I forgot about that one.
What's this one? Is that?
Yes, dude. Okay.
This is on a magazine?
Yeah. So, dude, I forgot about this one. Thank you. Okay, so this is tied as well for my favorite. So, the fucking grand finals are going on at St. Louis back in January. The grand finals. I'm just walking around, I'm like, all right, it's, waiting for the hype shots. And I just look over. I look over and I see all these empty CRTs. And I see McDick, Silos, Trix, and I don't know the fourth guy. Big CE names. And they're just sitting there, dude. They're not watching the grand finals. They're just playing Halo CE. And I was just like, dude, this is like a shot. And I jumped on this chair and I just shot it. And I was like, whenever I black and whited it, and I was like, dude, this is next level. This is sick. Yeah. And it's like a lot of people were like responding to it on Twitter, and they were just like, dude, that shot's insane. And I was happy to hear that, because like I'm glad that people like got like an emotion out of it the same way I did. Because that means it worked. That means it's like, okay, like the idea in my head was like right.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's literally the grind right there. Is like no matter what's happening around you, grand finals going on, these guys they're still going. Like they're taking advantage of that opportunity to game.
That's Halo, man. That's Halo.
That's Halo. That's literally it. Yeah. Just a couple more. We need more like scraps, like Burger King bags and stuff. Like Walshy was saying, the trash fighting he used to do on his basement or his friend's basement floor. They had like trash everywhere, and they would just be rolling in it basically when they're trying to rustle each other.
Imagine.
That's a pretty awesome photo, though.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. That one's really good.
So from Alpaca Laka, how does it feel to be the one designer from Twitter who goes by the name Alpaca and had the honor of using one of your photos when Optic had their Halo team? What's this? This is something you would know.
So Alpaca is my freaking duo. It's like one of my best friends.
Okay.
And he used to be like the lead designer for Optic Gaming.
Oh, nice.
And it was at UGC event, like, I don't know, like I think a year or two ago. I shot this is the only time I've ever done this, and I wish I would do it more so I could learn. But I shot profile photos of everybody, and 343 and UGC ended up not using the photos for I don't remember why. And I was like, hey Alex, dude, do you want these? And like if you go look at like every like Halo graphic ever from Optic, it's the photos that I used.
Really?
Or that I took, yeah. And he used them for all the designs and stuff. So it was actually pretty dope to see, like, because he designed the jerseys that I took the photos of. And it was it was pretty cool to see.
That's
like
still a thing for Optic today, you're saying?
Well, not anymore since they don't have them.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's pretty dope that he got to use my photos in his designs when he was back on Optic Gaming.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that actually was really cool. I ain't gonna lie. I hate that. Like, I hate Alex so much, but I love him at the same time.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he hears you from the chat.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he'll be sending me like DMs.
He probably already knows. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll send me a DM in like 2 minutes.
Exactly. Anyway, it's great, especially because your photos weren't being used too, to find stuff that like you worked on that didn't get utilized and then ended up being put to good use, and there you go, you have like another opportunity. So yeah, man. Altogether though, that covers all of the questions that we have from our Q&A, the questions that I have today. Thank you so much for joining me on HCS Weekly, and once again, we'll do the shout outs. Where can we find you online?
You can find me online on Twitter, primarily twitter.com/David Sandman with 2 S's in Sandman. And I also stream occasionally. I stream Halo 3, and I stream me raging on Apex at the same thing, twitch.tv/David Sandman with 2 S's in it.
Yeah, and if you don't follow him now, you probably will be following him later, because this guy is the Halo photographer. Expect to see a lot more Halo pictures in the near future. We got Dallas, we got G4G. Are you making it to G4G?
Sadly, I am not making it to G4G. I'm just going to focus on my day job right now, but I will be at Dallas shooting that. I don't know if I'll be shooting for 343 or DreamHack, so I'll probably just be doing my own thing. I'm actually trying to see right now if my photo is on the Master Chief Collection dashboard.
Oh, nice.
Because typically it is. So.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be at Dallas. No G4G for me, sadly. But they got a pretty good photographer out there.
Right.
So there'll be a lot of good captures for sure.
Okay. Well, expect some awesome Dallas photos and more in the future, whatever they decide to do. Thank you so much for joining me once again.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, and that closes yet another episode of HCS Weekly. Good to be back from the HCS Invitational. Good to finally, get back into the swing of things. I'm so tired and just like jet lag from everything. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, by the way, you can see I've got the HCS Weekly merch, the hoodie on right now. Tony, throw up the merch as well. You guys can purchase any of this on HCS Weekly's website. Everything that you buy supports not only the show, but myself as well. And of course, I would highly appreciate that. That closes our episode for today. Make sure to check the VOD appearing on YouTube very soon. If not tonight, later tomorrow. And I'll see you guys again next week.